Hello and welcome back to Shelf Center. This is Bryce. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for liking and subscribing. This is something you end up enjoying. You never know. It could happen. Anyway, this is my it's very late in the month, I know, monthly update for July, and then my August TBR, which I know we're already a month in, and I've already finished one of the books. I did already film this, and it was supposed to go out Tuesday. Instead, luckily, I already had a book haul video filmed, so that's what ended up going up. Because instead of this video, which I am actually refilming right now, my audio just shut off about, I don't know, 3 minutes into the 15-minute video. So anyway, here we go. It's probably going to be a lot shorter this time, I'll be honest. The second time doing a video, you're just like, all right, I'm getting this thing done. I don't know if anyone else does that. But anyway, let's jump into July. How did July look? First things first, I did read The Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. This is one I believe Mahir of Fantasy Book Critic actually recommended, and it is, I mean, we're talking like ages ago. Excellently done, just hilarious. Some great quotes, which I'll put up, one of my favorites. I don't think it spoils much. I mean, you just have like a little bit of a twist on famous fairy tales. And one of the twists, I mean, just one of the twists that just is funny is the Seven Dwarves, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves fame. The Seven Dwarves are all communists. And so it's pretty funny, and there's great just lines in it, and it's just magical, and so I can't recommend it enough. I wish it was talked about more, and I'm surprised it's not, because it felt like an instant classic to me. After that, I read Sundiver by David Brin. This is the first book in the Uplift trilogy. I did listen to it on audiobook. It was very well done. This is one that's been on my list for ages. David Brin, he's the author of The Postman, which has been made, into Kevin Costner movie. But the Sundiver was really good. It's definitely on the, more cerebral end of the kind of classic sci-fi, as opposed to like action-packed or anything like that. A lot of just interesting ideas. I think really well done, like alien species, right? Aliens. This idea of uplifting a whole species, I thought was really, really interesting, and like essentially bringing other life forms kind of to another level of intelligence, to kind of a level where they can create their own technologies and advancements and whatnot, and then even just across the kind of galaxy / universe, this like hierarchy exists, where it's like if you've been uplifted, by another alien species, which that's the question as to humanity, right? And especially in this, but like who uplifted us, and was anyone there to uplift it? That's the mystery, and it's just pretty interesting. So if you were uplifted, then you essentially kind of have you're lower on the hierarchy of the universe. So it's a lot of cool concepts, really interesting, and a just well told. It's and enough to, I want to read the next one. It's probably not my favorite sci-fi in the world, but it was well done, and it was fun. All right, then I read Mistborn, Secret History. This is going to be one that I mentioned, maybe you could read it after the first book. No. So many spoilers. I had barely gotten into it and only had seen the spoilers for the first book. There are definitely spoilers for all kinds of books. I've even, in the Arcanum Unbounded, which is where this is also published, there's also a note that I think it spoils one of the Wax and Wayne books even. So anyway, just a little bit. So I haven't read those yet, so I guess I've been spoiled. But I thought this was great. If you're looking for like, where does the Cosmere kind of start connecting? Apparently, it's in the like side stories, and I won't go into more details on that or any spoilers on that. But that's definitely something if you want to. I'm learning here. I'm looking for all the like connections in the main series, and there's not a whole lot. It's these side ones apparently is where they're at. But then this is one that I'll be doing a live stream here pretty soon, maybe even the same day that I publish this video. But this is one I read for that. It was a read along. Hyperion, Dan Simmons. This I have as one of my top 3 of all time science fiction books. And it didn't disappoint this second time through. It's still really well told. I really enjoyed it. I think I mentioned in my book haul video, like there's some differences than from my memory, right? But for the most part, it was it's really just well told. I mean, you're going, literally, really reading this the second time, I'm like reading it and being like, what was the deal? Why do I think this is like the best sci-fi of all time? You know, and then suddenly it grabs you, and it's pretty early on in like one of the first stories, because it's told like Canterbury Tales. You know, multiple people tell their stories. It's got the same structure at least. But like first story, like about a quarter way through, I was like, all right, yeah, this is it. I forgot. I get sucked into these stories. They're just so compelling. They're so interesting. I think it treats time in a really interesting way, and that's really well done. And time is hard to mess with, which I think is impressive. And then you got the Shrike, like a really good monster bad guy kind of thing. Or is it? I don't know, but I love it. It's still great. Then I rounded out July because I had a really good reading month for once. Usually my average is about 4. It's been 3 the last couple of months because I've been reading some chonkers. And this is no less a chonker really, to be honest, but I made it. I caught up a little bit. Goodreads says I'm like still 3 books behind, but who listens to Goodreads? Lions of Al-Rassan. This is another one that we'll be filming here soon with my reading group, same reading group as for Liza Lachlan-Mora, which was awesome, and it was a lot of fun. I loved it. I think I put it above Tigana, which is the only other Guy Gavriel that I've read. And is that how you pronounce Gavriel? Gavriel? I haven't thought about that till just now. Lions of Al-Rassan, it's so good. It's like kind of following kind of some history with Spain. It's definitely low on the magic, like very low. You know, like Abercrombie low on magic, I feel like. But really told well in like this kind of more classic fantasy, like kind of, I don't know, this like prosier way. I don't know if that makes any sense. And just great characters, great just story here. It's really well done. Absolutely loved it. All right, let's talk TBR or you know, MBR might be read for the month of August. So what I'm doing is I'm participating, so it's throwing again everything out of whack yet again, as I want to do. I'm sorry for this. It's the mood reader in me, but I was invited to participate. This will be the 2nd year in a row into the Keymark Discord's readathon, and so they do it for the whole month, and I'll be participating. It's called the TBR Quest. There's some great people involved as the coaches. For some reason, they didn't want me back. No, I think they do it different. They're nice enough, but I know they didn't want me back because I was terrible. But I appreciated them. You know, my strategy of benign neglect probably wasn't the best strategy if you want people to encourage the whole team and everything. But we didn't get last by a technicality from the last place team, but I'll take it, okay? So anyway, but this new one is going to be fun. I'm actually on, I learned, Madison Goodyear's team, so I'm excited for that. But anyway, I've already finished the first one. But anyway, they have a bunch of prompts, 10 prompts, but you can only read 5 books, and then you can get up to 10 points by essentially reading the books and then giving it a good review, or giving it a review anywhere. Well, I think on Amazon or Goodreads, something like that. So anyway, I'll put up the what it is, what's involved here. But essentially, first things first, Summer's Ball. It involves a romance or political. There was another one for like political. I think this could be either. Mostly the romance though, and I'm going to go with that. Castle in the Air, which is the sequel to Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I love Howl's Moving Castle, and this one I did just finish because I'm a good read-a-thoner, okay? I'm going to pump out my books and I'm going to get my points. I'm not going to be one that asks for more probably, but I'll get my points, okay? But it was great, and I absolutely had a blast. It's magic. Like I always say this, I know, but Diana Wynne Jones has that kind of Neil Gaiman type ability, like Peter S. Beagle, who else? Just some of these authors like bring just the magic alone from prose. The prose itself is just magical and kind of lyrical, and kind of just the way it draws you in alone, let alone the rest of just the scenery and the characters and everything. I just absolutely adore her writing, and so I have a lot of fun with it. And Castle in the Air, it was excellent, and nobody ever talks about it, you know, like nobody talks about it. Like there's actually one more sequel after this to Howl's Moving Castle, which I will definitely be reading someday. Then we've got Moss Isley, it's just read a sci-fi. As you may be noticing, I'm keeping to like the shorter, so I can actually get my goals. I want to make, I don't want to be a failure for my team, okay? I want to be at least get my goals here. But I chose Gateway by Frederick Pohl. This is one, it's been on my list for ages. Friend recommended it. Loved it. Maybe I'm opening myself up because I think there's a number of books in that series, but I've never really read any Frederick Pohl, which I need to change apparently. So I'm excited to read that one. It is definitely on the shorter side. All right, and then I'm going to do for Black Cauldron, which is just has to be a dark cover. I really like the prompts that this readathon does because it keeps it pretty general, pretty easy to fit something in. What I decided to do was Blind Sight by Peter Watts. At least the cover that I have, because it could be, I guess they could have a lighter color and a darker color, and for the same book, but Blind Sight is pretty dark. I'm gonna go with it. And then for Halfling Village, what I decided to go with, I'm debating. I actually kind of have been toying with both of them, but one was Deadpool Samurai. I couldn't resist picking this one up, and it looks cool. So, and Deadpool's all the rage right now, of course. The other I'm debating on is Attack on Titan #3. I believe for this readathon, I actually did #2 last year, so it shows how much manga I've been reading in the last year. Not a lot. For Halfling Village, it is just a book that's either under 200 pages or a manga, so those qualify. Rebel Encampment is going to just be an independently published book, and for that I'm going with We Men of Ash and Shadow by H.L. Tinsley. Either that or Heirs to a Flawed Creation by Montague, and anyway, it's just kind of whatever kind of, am I going more sci-fi short stories or fantasy? It's going to depend. I'm kind of keeping my options open. I really want to get to both of them. So anyway, that's my list. Those are my books for now. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you're involved in the TBR Quest Readathon and what team you're on. And so I can make fun of you if you're not on my team, or I can razz you, or you can razz me, I guess. But it's a good time. It's a fun time. So anyway, thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for your patience. I figured I'd get a third video out this week because I did my first sponsor video. I didn't want to just leave it at okay, there's my 2 videos for the week. It's what I've been doing. I wanted to make sure that if one of them is a sponsor that I put you through, then I'm going to have another video here too. No, I really like that. So anyway, and if you want to support them, I'll keep the link down below. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.